I am 62 years old with $1 million in my 401k. Can I retire? This is a question I get all the time. And there's a lot of nuances to it and things that need to be explored. So let's tackle them. First is, what are the things that are not included in your net worth that you didn't reveal in that statement? Do you have a pension? Do you have a Social Security? Are you married? Right? What are those income sources? Those defined benefits, those income sources, those are included in your net worth. So when you think you have $1 million saved, but you have potentially $80,000 of income from these other places, that adds up to a lot, right? Those are going to be huge, huge parts of your retirement that you're not factoring in when you make that statement, I just have $1 million saved, can I retire? Those defined benefits are going to play a big role. We need to include them. The second thing I would address is, what are you spending? What does your lifestyle require from an after-tax standpoint to retire? If you're spending $200,000 a year, $1 million is probably not going to be enough, right? If you're spending $50,000 a year or $75,000 a year and you have those other income sources, whether it's pension or Social Security or maybe both, $1 million is likely enough to sustain you through a 20 to 30 plus year retirement, right? Or beyond that, depending on how you manage it, right? Smart, intentional management around these assets and your income streams is going to go a very long way towards helping you have a successful, happy, fulfilling retirement. The third thing I would say is focus on the things that you can control, taxes being one of them. Retirement taxation is a really important topic to roll up the sleeves and dig into. How is your Social Security going to be taxed? How is your IRA distributions going to be taxed? Can you manage those around specific, what we call tax landmines? If you live in Connecticut, for instance, there's a new law that goes into place specifically for people who are retired that have income streams from Social Security, pensions, or IRA distributions that it totally exempts them from paying income tax if they're below certain thresholds. How do you structure a plan to keep more of your hard dollars earned in your pocket and not sending them away to Uncle Sam? All of that's really, really important. The fourth thing that you need to be thinking about, and it's probably the number one question that I'm asked by people in this exact scenario, is, Brian, if I do retire at 62, what do I do for health insurance from 62 until I can take Medicare at 65? Right now, I get those benefits from my employer. If I retire and I lose those, I might be paying $15,000 to $20,000 a year or $30,000+ a year if you're planning with a spouse. That's a big number. I don't want to build it into my plan, nor do I think it's affordable. What can I do? There's very intentional planning that you can do years before you get to this stage to help build up after-tax buckets for withdrawal. There's actually a tax credit available that you can get subsidized health insurance that maybe only cost you $100 a month for an Anthem Gold or an Aetna Gold style plan that's really good coverage, but it only costs you a very small amount of money because the qualifications to be eligible for this credit are based on your income. They are not based on assets. So depending on where you draw money from, if it's a Roth IRA, if it's a taxable account, those distributions might not show up on your tax return in these years between 62 and 65 as you're taking them, and you can keep your tax return income very, very low, intentionally so, for just this period of a few years, and you can be saving yourself tens of thousands of dollars in healthcare-related expenses to make it so this early retirement is possible. The difference between 62 and 65 is huge, right? Those are some of the best years of your retirement, and you want to optimize and maximize those for your enjoyment and fulfillment. The number one regret that people have if you ask them about retirement when they're 70 and beyond is they wish they retired sooner. So taking some of that healthcare insecurity off the table by building a plan that allows this tax credit to be implemented is really, really impactful. And the fifth thing I would tell you to do as you're looking at, can I retire on this $1 million of savings, is identifying how much you need from a distribution perspective of that $1 million. How much do you need over and above what your guaranteed income sources are providing to you on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis? We want to try to capture maybe 5 years worth of whatever that expected annual need is and put that into place that's not taking on a lot of risk and volatility, because you are targeting that specifically for withdrawal in these first 5 years of retirement. The rest of the dollars you may want to consider investing for growth. We need to have a portion of your retirement savings that's going to be invested for growth. It might have a little bit more volatility to it, But if it's going to earn a better rate of return over time than the low volatility, low risk investments, that plays a really important part too. If retirement is 20, 30, or 40 years, we need to have assets that are outpacing inflation and growing to provide us not in the first few years of retirement, but are going to be there to provide for you in year 10, year 20, year 30 of retirement as well. A lot of people make this mistake of being ultra conservative because they retire, not taking a long view to think that there's portions of my savings that need to grow to be there for me in years 20 and 30. But as long as we're protecting those first, 3, 5, 10 years of retirement from volatility, you can sleep at night knowing that these dollars that I need for these next 3, 5, 10 years, these are protected. These dollars over here, these are growing for me to be there on the back end of my retirement. And you can solve for both of those things at once. So can you retire at 62 with $1 million saved? The answer is absolutely. You just need to do some thoughtful, careful, strategic planning around how to make that happen. And then you can feel comfortable and confident about where you are in this plan to feel ready to go ahead and pull that parachute, put in that 2 weeks notice, and start this wonderful next chapter of your life. Thank you so much for joining. If you found this retirement video helpful, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to have alerts around more content we put out specifically to retirement, taxation, and strategies relevant to this transitional stage of your life. You can go in the show notes. You can find a link to our website. You can also find a link to a Google Sheet where you can enroll in an email list that puts out live webinar alerts that generally happen about once a month. We go over one specific topic a lot more in depth than I'm doing in these videos, and we do it live so you can ask questions about what you're hearing and how it might be applicable to you. It's awesome. I love doing it. Teaching's really fun for me. I hope you're finding as much fun watching this video as I'm having doing it. So thanks so much for joining, and we hope to see you soon.